We hear all this talk about AI, but what does it actually look like when you use it to study? We're going to see it in action right now. We're following one student's journey using a new AI tool to take on a really tough academic assignment. It's a pretty amazing glimpse into what the future of learning could look like. Okay, so the student's whole project started with this pretty dense philosophical quote. So what does that even mean? Well, it basically frames their topic, 20th century literature, as this big story about humanity just grappling with massive, massive progress. Think about it: industrialization, new tech, and all the huge moral questions that pop up alongside them. It's a heavy concept, and honestly, a perfect test for a new kind of study buddy. And that quote really brings us to the core of the problem, right? When you're staring down an idea this huge, how do you even begin to get your arms around it? Especially today, with just an absolute avalanche of information at your fingertips. This is the exact challenge our student was trying to solve. So, let's set the stage here. The assignment was to analyze 20th century English literature and how it connected to society. And look, this is way more than just reading a few books. It's about understanding a whole century of chaos, innovation, and just radical, world-changing shifts. The goal was to untangle all the different threads of what the source material called a bewildering modern world. I mean, we're talking about the impact of world wars, the rise of modernism, crazy shifts in how people lived. It's a massive topic, and the real trick is to boil it all down into something that's actually clear and makes sense. So how in the world did this student even begin to tackle this beast of a project? Well, they didn't do it alone. They teamed up with an AI learning partner. So let's meet the tool that's really at the heart of this story: NotebookLM. Now, what's really important is how the student described this tool based on their own experience. For them, NotebookLM wasn't just some fancy search engine. It was a partner for synthesis. That's the key word. It could take all this dense source material, actually understand it, and then help generate totally new, clear documents from it. And the actual workflow? It was surprisingly simple. First, the student just fed the AI all their research and texts. Then, boom, the AI kicked out a quick summary of the main ideas. And from there, it built out a much more detailed, structured report that basically became the backbone for the entire project. But the journey didn't just stop with a text file. Not at all. This is where things get really, really cool. The student took all those AI-generated insights and used them as a launchpad to start designing some incredible visual content. This is the leap from raw data to actual, thoughtful design. So the first step to visualizing all this was to create a mind map. This was perfect for organizing all those sprawling literary themes into a clear, connected structure. It wasn't just a list of ideas anymore. It was a real network showing how everything fit together. Building on that structure, the next thing they created was a detailed infographic. This basically took all the key info from that AI report and turned it into this really engaging visual format. It's such a powerful way to make complex history and literary theory understandable in just a single glance. And this is where the AI's potential just explodes. The student didn't stop with a cool graphic. They used AI to generate video overviews, to create podcasts, and even to translate the content into Hindi. All of a sudden, this AI wasn't just an analyst. It was like a one-stop shop, a multi-format creative production assistant. Absolutely wild. So yeah, the project was a huge success. But the biggest takeaway here wasn't the infographic or the podcast. It was what the student actually discovered about the process of learning itself. That's the real story. The students' takeaways are really powerful. They realized that going digital gives you access to amazing creative tools, not just information. They saw firsthand that AI is a fantastic partner for synthesis and for making your writing clearer. But the most important lesson was this: to create great content, you first have to deeply understand your topic. The AI is an amazing collaborator, for sure, but it doesn't replace the human need to actually know your stuff. And all of that brings us to our final question. This one student's story shows a journey from research to synthesis to creating content in a ton of different formats, all with an AI partner by their side. So, is this what we're looking at? Is this a glimpse into the future of education? A future where the goal isn't just to write an essay, but to communicate complex ideas in the most powerful way you can, with technology as your co-pilot? It's definitely something to think about.